The Fraction. Y'all know what it is. Carla, Monty, Sua, and yours truly, Jay out in the building. Topic today, question. What do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and why do you give yourself that number? Monty, kick us off.
Man, numbers, I don't know if they mean anything to me, but if I had oh my God, that's a great question. I'm really crucial on myself. I'm really hard on myself. I've always been that way. So if I had to, I would say probably a 5. Only because
5.
I'm always working on myself. If I were to say a 10, I think I've made it to where I've ultimately wanted to make it, and I'm constantly a work in progress. So for me, it's been really hard to rate myself only because I'm really hard on myself, whether it's at the gym or at work or
so your
as
5
an individual.
is like you're like 5 off of looks. Your 5 is including personality. Your 5, what's that?
That's it. Well, if you put it that way,
you said 5
okay. Let's just break it down. Let's just break it down. If I had to rate myself as an individual, personality-wise, I'd probably say a 10, only because I've learned to like myself, honestly, like myself as far as how I treat people, how I view others, and how I want to motivate others to look at themselves. So I would say a 10 there. Looks-wise, I'd probably say half, 5, only because I've never liked myself in the sense of how I look. And it's not from a standpoint of, oh, boo-hoo-hoo, I don't like myself. It's more of like, I want to look a certain way, I think, and I'm trying to get out of that mindset of why can't you just be happy with what you got? Which I'm not. So I'm doing something about it, going to the gym, trying to look better. So I'm still a work in progress. I think maybe I'm halfway there, if anything. But my dad always taught me, hey, if you don't have room to grow, you or if you're not growing, or if you don't have room for improvement, then you're not growing. So I guess that's always stuck in my mind a little bit. So as far as that goes, probably a 5. But as a person, probably a 10. I've done a lot of growing, gone through a lot of hardships, and I'm very happy for those because that's actually made me who I am today. So I think as a person, I'm really happy with who I am individually inside. On the outside, like I said, again, it's still a work in progress. So I'm doing something about it.
You put them two numbers together.
Oh, Lord.
Like it's like a 7
Let's do a 7. Yeah, that's perfect number. 7.5. Fine, Joe, to satisfy you. Okay.
Took a long way around the bush to get to that number. God
damn. It's all about math here.
Sua, what you got next? Gee.
I think, I would say probably 7.5, probably 8.
Okay.
Right? Because I can't be a 9, I can't be a 10 because I'm still counting forward, right?
Okay.
I think for me, there's still a lot of improvements that need to be done for me personally overall. But, I think that I bring a lot of, like personality and charisma to the table if you get to know me in that level, right? But overall, yeah, I think 7.5, 8 solid.
8 solid. 7.5, 8 solid. Carla.
Y'all know what I'm finna give myself.
Go ahead.
I'm definitely gonna give myself a 10.
10, girl. Give yourself a damn 10.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear.
I mean,
no explanation, just 10.
And it's not just my looks, although I'm thankful.
Yes.
However, I will say, I like the points that you guys are making, that you're saying that, you're still like improving and evolving, and obviously like I'm always on that as well. But I feel like I'm still a fucking 10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of myself, and beyond just like how I look, but also like how I treat people, my relationships,
yes.
type of person I am, partner, daughter, mother. So, and then my looks obviously are a plus. So.
That's a great point. I like that. That's very good that you can actually look at yourself the way that a lot of people struggle with that.
But also, I am very critical of myself too.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I have things that I'm insecure about.
Yes.
Like everybody, I'm not perfect, but
I think it takes a lot.
I just don't consume those thoughts.
That's good.
Like I just try to embrace my insecurities and still think I'm a badass bitch.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a great point to make, because a lot of us may not always have the courage to say that of ourselves. We think we're conceited or whatnot, but I think that's a great way to express that you actually do love yourself, because a lot of people are taught love yourself, but when you actually start expressing it, then people start taking it as conceit.
I know.
Which it shouldn't. I think people use that word conceit because they want what you have. They just don't want to admit it, so they're going to, basically tell you you're conceited because they're like, I'm kind of jealous.
I get that a lot. I have had a lot of people, like guys in particular, be like, you're a little too conceited. But it's not that I'm conceited. No. It's just that I know what I bring to the table.
Yes.
I know what I look like, and I know how I am as a person.
And you can't be scared of what people are going to say, because I've always been a firm believer.
Okay. So.
Oh,
Joe.
sorry, Joel. Ah!
No, I'm sorry. So I was letting it all just fly and slide. And I'm sitting there like, how the hell do we go going on? It was just a simple ass question.
I'm gonna cut that.
You know, it's cool.
I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood why I was saying what I was saying.
Yeah.
You're right. That's okay. Because you know what?
We're gonna continue that. We're gonna continue that. But Joe,
it was mostly just because, like, look, off the bat, you know, I'm gonna throw out. I would say that I'm giving myself a 9. Okay. Now, everyone has their own idea of what, on a scale of 1 to 10, is
a number look like.
A straight up number look like.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's straight off looks, whether it's straight off personality, when it all like Monty's trying to sandwich it all together and kind of make the two together. Carla's throwing in some other extra stuff.
But that's how she views it. That's how she kind of comes up with that number.
Fine. Now, in this particular scenario, we talking, you know, probably give yourself a number in the first minute, 30 seconds to a minute upon meeting somebody, where you really only have the first 30 seconds to 45 of
speed dating.
Someone,
speed dating.
Sure, speed dating. Because you got the first impression looks, and then all of a sudden you can hear them speak, because we all know that sometimes if someone opens their mouth and starts talking, that number might drop or it might increase.
True.
You know, someone could possibly also grow over time in number, you know, when they start to really get that personality and that increases. But, you know, off the first, walking down the street, here you cruising in New York, or speed dating, you see somebody, meet somebody, boom, what's that first number look like? Does that change?
So when you say what's that first number look like, are you saying how are we rating it? What influences that number? Basically, is what you're saying.
From what your perception of them, like
straight up speed dating. That was a great example. Just straight up speed dating.
I don't want it to sound vain, but I'm just going to be frank, honest. I mean, if they're sexy, they're sexy, and I'm like, damn, you look at you.
Right. But is there a number though? Right.
Yeah.
Sure, 10, 12. I mean, let's get it up there, you know. But
so but we talking about each other though. So like, if you sat down and was doing a quick speed dating, all they have is a quick 30-second impression of you.
Of me.
Of you. What are you giving yourself?
A 10.
Okay.
Can I say I'm a people person, and you know, so if I'm in front of people, I'm gonna give myself a 10 because I know my capabilities, and I'm not, again, being, you know, conceited. It's just the truth about myself. That's one thing I will say I'm confident in, is talking with people.
You're damn right.
Yeah, no, that's
so
it.
So now you done rose to 8.5.
Wow.
Because the number's overall. What's up, buddy?
Hi.
Welcome in.
Hi, babe. What are you doing?
Oh, man, it's strong out here. Tua, does that change you? Does that do anything?
If they're looking at me or me looking at them? Me looking at them?
No.
Them looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, I think 8 is still pretty okay, right? I mean, I don't want to overshoot myself because I know that there's a lot. If I was sitting in a room with guys, you know, my number could increase or decrease, right? But me putting myself up there at 8 is pretty solid to me, because at least that way there's still a lot of leg room, but also there's also still, you know, you're still better than most guys in the room.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you're based on a look, like what we notice, right? You might look really good and then start talking, and conversation wise, you're like, hello, bye.
Right. Because that happens.
Yeah.
On a regular.
So just because somebody have really good appearance, right? They dress well, you know, they exercise, you know, body and all that stuff. But conversational wise, and then, you know, maybe sense of humor, things like that, it could change, right? Yeah. And we notice that when we're meeting new people and interacting with people, I think that goes into his conversation wise. Do they have personality wise, and then do they have a sense of humor, right? Because if they don't have some sense of humor, if you can't make a girl smile or at least laugh in first, you know, like minute or two, you know, you kind of like shot yourself in the foot, right?
Yeah. I think there's plenty high numbered that we would label somebody as up there 10s, 9s, and 10s that, you know, as soon as you start interacting with them, kind of like, oh, I don't know, look, just because your looks are high, I can't even be around you.
Right? Because okay, so like
I gotta drop that number.
if it's not on a podcast to say we're here sitting and we're at a restaurant where people watching, right? Because people watch a lot, right?
All the time.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're people watching, we're like, oh man, that person is really beautiful, right? Or man, that's hot, right? But then all of a sudden, like you might go talk to them like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no, you're right. So that's why I said a quick speed dating.
Like, you don't want to talk to her? Or
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you start opening their mouth and then start talking, and then kind of like, nah, I'm turned off by that. I don't care what you look like. I can't get down with that type of
Yeah.
thing.
But then again, I feel like that number is also. I don't know. Well, okay, let's put it this way. Obviously, it was the looks that got you to go talk to her, right?
True.
Yeah.
So therefore, is it only the looks that they'll motivate?
This is
you
why
to
we
look
put
for a
it in
woman?
speed dating scenario.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
why I
Yeah.
gave it a little bit of conversation. You got a good. To be honest, I've never been.
What's
to speed
that
dating, so
magical
I don't
number
really
that
know.
I've
keeps
always
you
wanted
with
to
the
go speed
person?
dating.
Don't you only get 30 seconds?
Right.
45. What is it?
That'd
Minute?
be fun.
Maybe you get a minute.
I don't
I
know.
have no
A
idea.
minute too.
They do it at the Gold Room though.
Yeah.
do it here.
They do
Yeah,
that kind of.
Gold
I've
Room.
never. Okay. I've
Oh,
only heard
Gold
about
Room do got some good ass chicken though.
So maybe
for the speed dating.
just for sake of it, say it's a minute. All right. So you get a good strong minute of here's your first look, conversation, and that's all you get. So they get your impression. So Carly, I'm not even going to ask you.
I'm still giving myself a 10.
But see, that goes to show, Joel, that a lot of that's how she rates
No, it's
herself.
fine. It's
You
just-
know,
But it's not even.
I'm not
I
knocking
just
it.
feel very confident that if I have 30 to a minute, like I'm funny as hell. Y'all can't say I'm not funny.
Well, first of all,
But
That
I
was
will
funny
say-
right there.
But I will say, I feel like I have the vibes. Like I have a really good vibe, and I can get along with anybody. It doesn't matter what you look like, anything. Like I'm just cool as hell with everybody. So it's just so easy.
you also have to keep in mind what brought them there. Because if they're going a speed dating thing, obviously they have some type of confidence to say, hey, I have enough within myself and confidence in myself to be able to be here. Otherwise, if you're shy, you don't have that confident level.
No.
I don't
There's plenty
think
of people that
you
get
think
dragged,
so.
Plenty of people that
Really?
get dragged into speed
Well,
dating.
okay.
Oh,
You
drag,
know,
yeah.
but that's
dragged
different.
into it, and then the kind of like shy.
Right, because speed
trying
datings are
it.
usually like you have like at least 20 or 30 people.
Yeah.
Right, and it's always either the girl shifts or the guy shifts. But you can't tell me everywhere you go, you walk into a room, and you're not already viewing.
Of course.
Right.
You're always observant.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Because your thought is already like, all right, this is the person right now, but I think that person's really cute.
Right. So
What-
is your number? There's all numbers actually, straight up off. Well, I guess everyone changed, but for you specifically, is your number straight up off of looks? Because here they come. Say you're sitting, and here they come sit down, and you're already instantly processing like, oh damn, this is gonna be an 8, 7, 9. Oh, she's an 8. Wait, is it already processing?
Yes,
Okay.
it has to,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
for me
I
to
agree.
process that, I'm always thinking about how they're gonna think about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not really all about looks itself because I do have my own personal. Everybody has their own personal, right? But like when you see certain people, you get that persona vibe from certain people, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
like you're more relaxed. You can tell automatically your way of thinking and processing with them is very different. You know?
Right. You know what? It might even be. I was thinking. It might be where you have like, there's a initial number, and you might be more attracted to somebody's vibe. You might be more attracted to the looks. You might be more attracted to the personality. But something's gonna want to keep you there, and you're gonna want to.
What is that?
What is that
What is
that keeps you there? Is it
Right.
really the looks? Like, it doesn't matter what you
For
look
me-
like, or like you could say whatever, but in my head, you are a dime because you're beautiful, and I'm just holding on to that number, and it's cool. Or
I
Might be
feel like
something
you
different.
can be a real 10 if the looks is all you have. Like,
But if you're a firm believer that that's all that, for example, in the gay world, that's a lot of guys have that mentality of if you ain't got looks, you ain't got nothing. But it all depends.
I'm sorry, bro.
What I'm saying is it's the truth though, and it's all into the eye of the beholder.
Right.
Because obviously, yeah, of course. Like for me, like I'll flat out tell you, it's not my looks. I won't ever rate myself on my looks because that I'll tell you it's going to be a low number. Not because I don't have confidence in myself there. That's just how I view me personally. But what I'm trying to tell you is at the end of the day, for example, this depends on the world you live in. Like my world, like let's say I'm trying to date another guy. Like a lot of that world is based upon looks. They won't give me the time of day if I don't look a certain way.
I don't know because I still don't think. I think there's plenty.
Not that it couldn't happen. I'm not saying that. But we're talking about first glance.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if I walk into, like, let's say the saloon, and I'm trying to, let's say,
That's
find
the wrong
some
place.
But what is the right place?
So like I'm just thinking like
But
gay
that's my
couples
point.
that are, gay
Just-
couples that are together, right? And you see them, and I know
It's the
that
same
you've
way
seen
on
plenty gay
Grindr, it's the
couples
same
that
way
you're
on
like,
any dating
I
site."
look better than they do. I know you've seen it.
Of course.
Yeah, so it
And
can't be
I
on straight
constantly-
looks.
Right, you're right. But what I'm trying to tell you is at the end of the day, that's what you're first looking at. That's all you have right now is that first shot. You know, so if I'm on a site, a dating site, if I don't look a certain way, chances are I might not get that first date. I might not get that spark of an interest. So chances are it's going to be tougher for me. The only way that it seems like if I have mediocre looks is if I happen to run into someone and there's a circumstance that gets me in front of them that allows them to start getting to know me. So that's what I'm saying. So if it's just on first glance and you're trying to do that speedy dating thing, that's what we got.
Yeah, if we're doing
So
the
I'm going to
speed
look
thing.
my best and try to impress. So for a lot of the times, the way I look is it sucks. You know, part of this podcast is uncovering things I really don't like talking about. But part of it is me trying to impress the world. And it sucks.
At that moment.
At that moment.
In every moment.
Yeah.
For me, though.
Yeah.
For you may be different. For me, I don't really care about looks, even though I got more confidence is from within. Fine, but for me, if I can't step out the door if I don't look my best, I'm going to the restaurant. I gotta look my best.
We
Because
know.
what if I run into my ex, or what if I run? That's my mentality, though.
We know.
Your mentality is different. Like here's the thing: I look at you, and right away you have that confidence. You have that, regardless of what you wear. And I've always envied that because I can't roll out of bed and just be like, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" I have to be like, "Oh, my hair's messed up." It's that's how I view myself. You can be like, "Bro, you know, you look good." I don't see that.
Right,
I don't see your
right,
point of view.
right.
So for me, when I rate myself with the number, it's based upon how I view myself.
Right.
And so that's why it's hard for me to just sit there and believe when people say, "Oh, you look good." I go, "Well, if I looked good, then why don't I have someone?" Because that's how I view and rate myself. You
Right.
see what
No,
I'm
no, no,
saying?
but look-
And others look at me and be like, "Well, Monty, you don't need someone." You're right, I don't. But if I want someone, you are. And then, for example, the people that are already telling me that, have someone. So clearly, you got something I don't, or I'm doing something wrong. So at the end of the day, that's how I'm viewing myself.
But look, I told Sue this yesterday. You know how you run across people that, you know, will give a rating, say you look great from afar, and they don't approach you, and then you find out like years later that, oh, you know what, I was really interested in you all this time, and you're like, why the hell you ain't tell me all this time?
Right.
So I guarantee you there's plenty of people out there that are like that, that you may not even know, and that just may not approach you.
And that could be right.
So
Yeah, you
I
could totally be right.
100% believe in that fully because how many scenarios you've had things like that where you
That
you
does
just
happen.
been like, hey,
Oh, for sure.
why didn't you come earlier? I should have known about this, and if I had known, we could have hit it off a long time ago, type thing. And they, you know, for whatever reason, they were waiting. But people look at you from afar and could give you a 10. Doesn't mean that they're gonna act on it.
Yeah.
And so that's part. I mean, for whatever reason, confidence, whatever you want to call it, not the right timing. They just didn't act on it. I humbly believe that there's people
And you
like
could,
that
and you're
for you.
totally true. But when you don't actually ever run into the actual situation within your own life, it makes your perception is going to be different. You see what I'm saying? I could see that how that's possible, but where it's never been possible for me, or I should say, it's never happened
Since
to
it's
me.
never happened,
So it's
you
like,
might feel like it's not a
well,
thing.
it's
Right,
like
yeah,
at
no,
the end of
it's
the
true,
day,
it's
it's like,
true.
well, what
It's
does it
true.
matter? It's like when someone tells me constantly, they always say, "Hey, Monty, man, you got your life together, you got your finances together, you got your own house, you got your car, man, you look great, you go to the gym." I mean, anyone would be lucky to have you. I'd be like, "Great, where's the line of people?" Because there's no line of people. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me, my perception is like, you just lying to make me feel good. But they're like, no, we're being honest.
Yeah.
I go, but
Yeah,
you're the
yeah.
wrong person to tell you. You're a female. Like, I'm clearly not straight. So I guess at the end of the day, it's like, well, that's pointless. Not that it is, because I appreciate the compliment. But at the end of the day, my perception still stands the way it is because it doesn't change a damn thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Remember I asked you a while ago, would it matter coming from the right person? Would that change anything? Because like a lot of people could say all these things, but it's not going to impact you until either you think it or unless somebody that you're got in your head says it.
Here's the thing, and my mom even gets really upset with me. She'll say, you always need someone to tell you. God, just alleviate yourself. I go, Mom, it's not that I need someone to tell me, but here's the thing. And the examples I always use is this. It's like the way I view it. People may not agree with this scenario, but this is how I try to explain it so people can understand how I feel. It's like when you go to your job, you go to your work, and you work so hard at what you do, and you have passion for it and everything, and all your boss tells you is everything you're doing wrong. So then you start to believe, well, is there anything I'm doing right? Because clearly all you're telling me you're doing wrong. So for me, it's like when you go to the gym and you work out and you look so good and you're doing all the right things, you're dieting, you're doing great 5 days a week with the trainer, which is my life, and everyone else gets the compliment of, man, you be looking good, man, you losing weight. And it's just like, not that I need you to tell me, but if no one says it, you start to believe, well, are you even making an impact? Are you even changing? Yeah. I go to Idaho and I've been working out for a year and a half and not one person says, damn, you look good. Damn, you look good. It was just, the first thing they said was, are you getting shorter? So it's like, oh my God, like at the end of the day, like all this hard work, it's not that it was for nothing because it's for me and I like the way I look, but when no one else tells you, it's almost like, well, is it really, are you really viewing the truth, Monsi? Because clearly no one's telling you or giving you the feedback of the results that you're desiring. Yeah. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. But I'm still going to reverse it because you also still haven't, just because you don't receive it, because you are receiving it, and you're saying it may not be from the right person, but you also haven't spoke about, has anyone told you that you're ugly? Because now you're opening it up.
Who's going to tell you that? I mean, who really goes out there and says, "Man, you ugly"? Man. Like I've never seen that happen before.
Hey, tell him.
Actually, I have one time. This guy, I think he was doing it to spite me, but that's okay. He pretty much says, you know what? It was on Grindr. I'm not gonna lie. And he comes up to me. Well, not come up to me. He had come over to my house because he'd been begging me to hang out. And but long story short, we hung out. He was boring. I'm like, oh Lord, go away. And he was like, anyway.
So he called you ugly.
Not yet. No. This is you gotta listen in. And so anyway, so then he leaves, and the first thing he tells me is like, you know what? He goes, your roommate's a lot hotter than you. And I was like, no, he didn't. But then I thought, well, but it's true. So I didn't take it the wrong way. I was like, you know what? Yeah, he is, isn't he? And Riley was like, oh, but we can still be friends. And I didn't respond. But that, he told me that. Bogus. I was like, that. But you know what? The thing is I actually accepted it because here's the truth. He is. And I'm okay with that. So for me, it didn't bother me because I'm just like, okay, this guy's just doing it to hurt me, but it's true. So I'm like, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, he is. If it wasn't true, maybe I would have been different. But but overall, Joel, it's just basically that's how I've learned, that's how I come up with this number. Mm-hmm. And it was hard for me because I never view myself like that. I don't ever rate myself. I just basically tell me you need work. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to switch it around because it's not that I'm sitting down not trying to do something about it, being like, oh, I'm ugly, and eating junk food and not doing anything. But what I'm trying to tell you is I'm looking for solutions. By working out because I want to change the way I want to look the way I want to look, so I'm going to do something about it. I want a relationship. I don't need one, so I'm doing something about it. So I'm trying to figure out what are you doing that's different to try to get me there, and I still can't grasp it, yet people are telling me, you look good, you're on the right track, but when am I going to finally hit the mark? You see what I'm saying? So these numbers can't hit a 10 until I personally get the result that I've been striving for.
So if you get the result, get someone relationship-wise, that's your ultimate, then you're at a 10. You feel you're at a 10.
In the relationship department.
Yeah, but okay.
Because there's different little departments. I mean, if you're just viewing yourself as a person, I'm a 10. I'm very happy with my personality. I'm very proud of who I am.
Yeah, that's
but
what
when it comes to the dating scene, I struggle. It doesn't come natural to me.
That's that's like a... dating is, I don't know. But we're just talking about straight up off the bat look of what you look like now, and
how you judge them.
I mean, you see what me wearing glasses is not because I like glasses, even though I do and I love the look, but I don't necessarily like my face. So
I like your face. No, but I'm wearing glasses because you wearing glasses, so I'm trying to copy you. You're out here swag.
But here's the thing.
I should have worn glasses today.
Here's the thing.
I'm swag. I'm trying to catch up to you. I'm like, I see glasses. And I'm like, I love that. So the way that you might perceive yourself is probably may not even be true for the rest of the world.
No, you're right, and it's not. And I'm not trying to say that's how people view me. I'm just being honest with myself. And again, I'm proud of myself. I love who I am. There's just things about me that
you.
Yeah. But this also, I've learned to use my insecurities to also kind of enhance a a nice look. So I'm gonna wear sunglasses if I have to wear them because whatever the reason is, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make myself presentable. I'm gonna do it to kind of enhance it, not to like diminish myself.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so like that. So when people say, God, there's that sun in here, I'm like, I'm not wearing it for the sun.
Nope.
I'm wearing it for the
because
look.
of Monty. That's
Thank
why
you.
I'm wearing it.
Exactly. So like these earrings, again, people are like, well, did you, people constantly compliment the earrings, and this is on a side note, but it also goes down to how I'm viewing myself. I make my own because I'm trying to express myself.
Yeah.
So when people come and say, man, I like earrings, I start to laugh because I'm like, I just got a little piece of wire, kind of glued to and put them on. Just I don't know what I'm doing, which is cool, but it's the truth. So overall, again, going to ratings and stuff like that, that is me working on myself. That could probably it uplifts me, like but at the same time, I make others feel
So
good.
would your number drop if you didn't have the glasses and the earrings and all this?
For myself, yeah, probably.
To keep it 100,
I'm like, yeah.
Like if I don't got this shit, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
So okay. So
when
you
I
might
see-
have a look on. You're like, okay, it's on my best day, I'm like a 10. On my other days, days of the week, I'm like a 5.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I'll look at y'all. Okay, I like when you walk up, and I look at you, and this is not a read. This is actually a compliment. You guys come up with just a simple, jogging pants, a tee. Not that it doesn't look bad, but I think I go, and is something wrong with me because I literally had to like brush my teeth and to make sure I'm ready and like, really go through this whole routine of trying to get ready to look my best when everyone just strolls up. Hey, I'm here. I'm laid back, and I'm like, God, why can't I be like that? I can't. Like if I roll up and like when he rolled up, I was still in my robe. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't walk down, the stairs without putting like a hat on because my hair is so froey. I'm like, someone's here. I gotta,
Hey,
that's just me. It's just
that
weird.
robe was sexy.
Dang right. I don't know what it looked like, but I
That's
agree
me.
with Sue.
I'm like, oh my God. Like you can wake up with your man and in the morning and still look fabulous and beautiful and you guys can kiss on each other. I can't. So before he wakes up, I'm going to the restroom. I'm weighing down my hair. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm, dolling myself up and then I go back to bed.
Wait a minute.
To make sure when he wakes up, I look my
Time out.
best. It's weird.
Do you have a moment where you feel like you're less than a 10?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do I have a moment?
Is it like if you wake up in the morning, you ain't gotten ready for nothing? Are you like, you know what? I was just
Well, I
woke
don't
up,
really
I'm a
base
10.
my 10 on the way that I'm looking.
But it also could be feeling.
But it's how that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say. I don't always wake up super positive, super happy, super ready to conquer the world. I struggle a lot with dark times.
Okay.
So in those moments, I just have to talk myself through it. So I just have to be like, you're still a bad bitch at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
She in the
keep
mirror
it
like,
chugging.
yeah, you got this today.
Yeah.
I just like
Those
I really
dark times.
I really
Positive
have to talk
reinforcements.
myself
Yeah.
through that shit because
Yeah.
or if because also when I'm like going through a dark time, I don't work out as often or I'm not eating right. So
Yeah.
then I feel fat as
Yes,
hell. I
yes.
feel ugly as hell.
Yes.
So obviously I have those moments. That's what I was saying. I'm not perfect. I struggle with
Yeah.
things too, but I just have to talk myself through that shit. I just
And
have
even the
learned
most
through
beautiful
years.
people I've realized do have a lot of insecurities and have a lot of things I didn't realize too.
I mean, I struggle with shit all the time. I
Yeah.
got body dysmorphia. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, but look, half the time that y'all think y'all got something wrong, whether anyone who gives himself a high rating, low rating, whatever, they may feel that there is something that they don't like about it themselves. And from an outsider looking in, I know, like if you were to mention something that you don't like about yourself, it'd probably be like that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
And so that I might feel like that's no reason to lower yourself, or you know what I mean. And the same thing with the people who we quote unquote give themselves 10 and they're beautiful and they're like, you know what, I don't like my nose, and you're like,
I've
ain't
seen
nothing
that.
wrong with your nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't like no Michael Jackson nose, so what's the problem? It don't look bad.
Just beat it.
No, but it's true. But a lot of people are influenced by the way they feel about themselves, and a lot of the times for me, it's hard to admit because I even don't like talking to my mom about it because my mom's great person to talk to, my best friend, but she always tells me what I don't want to hear. The truth. She's just like, Monty, you should be happy about your freckles. Monty, you should be happy about your birthmarks. Blah, blah, blah. I go, Mom, but you don't know how that makes me feel. Well, I don't understand.
So,
but I don't either. And so when you try, go ahead.
What's one thing that you would change about yourself that you could vault you up to like a 10? Is there something, a feature on you
Do you want me to just choose one? Because there's several. There's several.
The main one.
Main
The main one.
Main one.
Oh God. Jesus. Oh God. I think I would probably a feature, like physical feature, or
Yeah. What?
Anything.
or just anything.
Anything. It's gonna be featured.
Okay, well that's a good one. Because featured I can't. Honestly, I'd probably say freckles, but I think would probably be just my mindset because
What?
I mean, no. Okay, fine, feature.
Don't tell the boy
Fine,
anything because
fine,
he's gonna go
fine.
into
You're like,
some
no.
deep philosophy.
So one thing about me that I would say that's not
It's
good.
hard. It's a hard question.
Right. So one thing about me that I know for sure is not good, and a lot of people tell me this because it's my face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I say my face,
Fix your face. What do you
is-
mean about it? Though?
So going back to what people watch, right? Sometimes when I go out with people or when I do things, I like to sit there, and I do have a resting bitch face.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
RBFs.
Okay. Right. And I do. It doesn't mean I'm not in a moment or anything like that. It's just, I have things I'm thinking about. I'm processing things.
Processing different-
So I'm still in the mood of, hey, let's go, let's party, right? Let's drink. But like I have things in my head going. So people are like, oh, I hate your face, man. Like my face do tell it all. Like if I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you. Like, but it doesn't mean I won't conversate with you though. Because at the end of the day, like people like start drinking with me, and I turn out because of drinking wise a little bit more. But
No.
and they're like, oh, you're actually pretty funny. I like you, right?
So how do you change like that feature? So like your resting bitch face is like what you like uplift your like
How would you change
How would you
that?
change
I go
that?
from
Wait, we need to see it again.
That was resting fish.
no, but it's just like sometimes you sit there, you just kind of zone out a little bit.
I don't
where
think
you're
you notice you're doing it. I don't
No,
think it's
I don't.
something you.
No,
That's
no,
why
no.
it's hard to
But
change.
it's a feature that he wants to change. So
Yeah.
like maybe like a uplift, like a little maybe it's the fact
Look,
that your cheeks are lower.
I got pit bull face.
You know what? That is a great question. You know what actually arose versus an actual answer? And reason I just realized why I couldn't figure out what to tell you was maybe I wouldn't change anything. Because if there was something I could have honestly told you, I would have said it right away. Where maybe I
No,
just...
because you had too many things. You said there's a
Well, I
whole list.
thought so. Okay, if I had to think, probably my birthmark.
That's what I was gonna
But
say.
it didn't come like this, because if there was so many things, why couldn't it come to my
Not
head?
because you had too many.
Yeah,
I know it came to
yeah.
mind for sure.
So I think overall that's what it is because you made that birthmark a
Well, clearly there's a Band-Aid over it.
Yeah.
no, but that's probably like the biggest thing that you point out of.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of
Always,
good
always.
feature
Yeah.
about you, right?
appreciate
Features.
that.
There's a lot of good feature, right? Physical attraction, all that. There's a lot of you. But I think, for what you point out is, like, yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
like
because,
I
I've even asked myself these questions by myself. I thought it was weird, but I'd be like, man, if I could die and come back, I think I'd want to come back as myself. It's really weird
without the birthmark.
without the birthmark.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the freckles,
Okay, so but is the freckles really? Do you like it? Really bothers you? Like
It does only because
Okay.
when I let's say I've seen so many people just do for example, the person I'm talking to from El Salvador, you can take selfies like this, or even people I've dated before, they'll just send me pictures. They'll send me a picture they can just snap and they look flawless, beautiful without filters. And yet for me,
I know. I was
I
gonna
like
say there's
freckles. I
people
think
that
that freckles are
buy
cute.
makeup to add
add
fake
freckles. Like
Really?
freckles.
people
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, that's a
I
thing.
like- I
That's a
like
thing.
freckles. I think they're
but
like,
for me,
cute.
like when I'm taking my selfies, I just see a bunch of dots, and I'm like, oh God, this doesn't look
Dude,
attractive.
even my daughters would take Photoshop and then
with the
put their
little freckle things on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
It's-
like I said, it's not like something that I can. I sometimes I forget they're there, to be honest. But it's just in those types of moments because right now all we have is social media, and right now being single and dating in these times, that's what you have. So you have to make your package attractive enough to make people want to buy it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to
Yeah,
market
I got
yourself.
what you're saying.
So
So how
me,
much
it's
do
so
you
hard.
cost?
Shit. That I don't know. I'm priceless because no one wants to buy it. No, no, I don't know. It's a great question. You can't put a
Carla,
price
how
on
much
something
do
no
you
one wants
cost,
to buy.
Carla?
I ain't finna put no number on it.
You couldn't? No.
No, I can't think of it.
Well, it doesn't have to be a number. But I don't know. That's hard. Oh my God, that is crazy. But when it really comes down to it, too, it's like marketing yourself nowadays is very crucial to be able to get someone to allow someone to walk through your door and want to come at least see what you got to offer. But that's the hardest part for me, which is why I hate cameras. Because of those reasons. I've had bad experiences with them. You know, people constantly look so beautiful on social media, and I try to emulate that, and I'm trying to also get out of that because I don't want to have to be just a picture.
Yeah.
You see? But at the end of the day, when that's all you got, when you got the hustle and bustle of life, you're constantly working blah, blah, blah. When do I have time to meet people? That's the only place. And I feel, and it sucks, but there are times where I feel most important when people pay attention to me that way. Like yesterday, I was at work at the restaurant, and these group of straight guys, well, it was men and women, he literally looks at me, and I was like, oh my God, she's attractive for one. I was like, okay. But he looks at me, he's like, how often do you work out? And I was like, why are you saying? Well, he goes, yeah. I go, why do I look like I work out? Because I was confused. I'm like, I didn't really look at myself that way. He's like, yes. And the girl looks at me, she's like, you look good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And like, again, that's not what I strive for, because like, again, I'm just being myself.
It feels good.
But when it feels good, because then you're like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe I am doing something right in that department.
Yeah.
In the work, you know, because like I said, I work out so hard.
Okay,
And then
I
this
got
is
something for you. Remember when we went to that restaurant and we ate, what was it, Olive Garden or something, Applebee's? And
Yes,
that lady
and I
came
did.
over and she looked at you, looked at me, and was like, you know what? You guys are just such the cutest couple ever.
I remember
She's
you thought we
like,
were together.
"Yo,
Yeah.
we're a couple." That is
And I got so
hilarious.
embarrassed because I thought it was funny, but I was like, oh, I don't know how Joel's gonna feel. Like I thought he was gonna be like, whoa, 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 because I didn't know Joel well that way at that moment.
And early on, I was just like,
How did you react?
So I like that point, because I'll tell you this. Like, I might be an 8, maybe sometimes 7, 6, 5, right?
Oh wait,
Okay, but
this guy went through the whole spectrum.
I was like,
How do you even do that?
but like, when I'm surrounded with my good group of friends, right? You guys encourage me, and I become a 10.
Brings the best out.
right?
Yeah, I
Because I was going to ask that later on. Like,
yeah.
do you feel better being in a group? And does that, you know, well,
I think that's why I
hold
became.
on to that.
I think that's why you became my best friend. But anyways, well, go ahead. Sorry.
What were you
Do
gonna
you
ask
think
him?
that you were a 10? Did
That
you
day?
feel like, that
Yeah,
day?
it kind of boosted me. I was like, oh damn, I got
Right.
this sexy ass guy here next to me, and
No,
they think
no,
we're. That's
no,
how I
that's
felt.
not-
That is
listen.
the truth. That you asked me. That is the truth. I was feeling okay for myself that day, but that definitely booted it up. You know, I was like, ah. You know, I was like, okay.
I'm going to tell you something. I guarantee you, if she only thought one of us was attractive, she wouldn't have probably said that comment.
It's true. And to your point as well, when I was dating this individual who I felt was the most beautiful man I've ever met in my life, and we were at a Walgreens, literally just checking out. Nothing special on, just normal clothes, taking him to go and get some stuff from Walgreens, and this African-American lady. Now, we used to say African-American ladies because I don't think that they don't have, a lot of the times they don't, well, they say what's on their mind for sure. All of my friends that are African-American do that. But the reason I say is she comes up to us and goes, I'm sorry, sir, out of her way, and was like, can I tell you something? I'm like, sure. She's like, you guys make a beautiful couple. And I'm like, we could just be best friends. What makes you think we're a couple? And that's what was like, whoa, that's astonishing, because I'm right next to this individual. Clearly, obviously, she thought we were a beautiful couple. So again, she looked at me and was like, you guys both look good. So yeah, okay.
Some people
yeah.
think you look good. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, you'd be surprised. I know you might put things against yourself, and in our head we think we're maybe not less, but like, people think you're attractive. They do.
Yeah.
She thought that. The dude, whatever, afterwards, once he found out that we weren't a couple, and I think he actually started approaching, talking us to a little bit more. I don't know. Sometimes people keep their distance, especially when they find out, like, oh, you guys gay couple, I ain't gonna talk to y'all over there. But that dude started to talk to us after we explained everything. But to Sua's point, though, I think being in a group setting and a vibe brings out the best in you, and so you start to elevate that number 2, because like, and that's why I mean this one over here, I guarantee you, she's flying high when she's going out with her girls downtown or whatever it is. She's got the vibe of the girls. I know. Damn
It's
well
all
she's
about
like,
me,
I'm 100 if I
baby.
can make it. You know,
That's true. I was just
vibes.
telling the girls yesterday when we went out, I was like, damn, we don't finna see some fine ass bitches tonight. We were all looking so good.
Yeah.
and when you start to make those like. It's the group, because could you reach that feeling solo?
Yes. Me,
Oh,
personally.
shit, well, never mind. So there you go. There's your answer there.
He's looking for a no.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
I like that. though.
But also because I literally make myself believe that nobody exists but me.
That's good.
So because
Yeah.
Right.
if I think about it for too much, like I'm gonna start overthinking.
Yes,
it. Like,
I
and I
agree.
have a lot of anxiety, so I
Yes.
can't think about.
You're
it.
like,
I
I'm
can't- I can't
diminishing
do
it. Yeah.
I just literally believe that I live in my own world, so I just live my life and.
But if you think
My
about it, you
confidence
really
is there.
do live in your own world. We all live in our own world. And a lot of us tend to either isolate ourselves or include ourselves. And in your case, I like that attitude because that helps you mentally to also view yourself differently in the way
Yeah.
you really should view yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because
y'all
a
like
lot of
opposites, straight up. You got yourself over here, Bronson. You both y'all live in your own worlds. I mean,
But
you
Joe,
guys
so
have a
do
both
you.
way of beating yourself up, but you beat yourself up too much, and you hype yourself up
A
a
lot.
lot.
yeah.
A
Y'all
lot.
just-
Well, you see,
And that's why the world is going crazy.
Well, the thing is, too, you guys, is I think what's really nice about this group and the name, which when really attracted me to the name when you came up with it was Sue, right? That came up with the name,
Yes,
the fraction, right?
Yes,
was,
I did.
Was the
You sure
fact
did.
that we all have different pieces of a puzzle that is, in my opinion, the missing pieces that I've needed to
Yes.
kind of help me along with certain struggles that I have. Like being with Joel, like you constantly have a way of just uplifting me in a way that I've never been uplifted. Like there's so many things you've done for me in such a short period of time that I'm so grateful for. And then you as a mother and going back to like my Latin roots and you teaching me how a loving family should be as well as you know. But the thing is that what I'm trying to
How
say
a
is
taco truck really is.
yes,
and, you know, not to
but
pick
no,
Taco Bell,
different
but you know
views in my life that I've been trying to make sense of have been coming more enlightened by having you guys around in this group and sharing you guys sharing you know your guys'
Pieces of the puzzle.
yeah. And so I think that was very, very important. Like I didn't notice certain things about myself tonight with this topic has enlightened certain things that I'm like, oh wow, maybe I am as good looking as people say, and they're not just saying it because you put it perfectly today, you know. So I think that's definitely something that for me has helped, you know, get me to a place where I should be.
I mean, because
so
I'm gonna throw it out there. I think, in my opinion, I think this woman is very attractive. I think she's great. I think Jennifer Aniston is one of those where she can't land a long-lasting relationship. Feels like, right? I feel like she's always
no, yeah.
Yeah.
like can't. And you were like, "What's wrong with Jennifer Aniston?" You're like, "Well, nothing's wrong with her. I think she's great.
I'm
I
definitely
think she's
Jennifer
attractive."
Aniston.
I just,
love her.
but
I
so
do too.
why can't she have that long-lasting relationship,
God,
Monty?
I
It's
know,
not just because
I
people have
know,
a
I
relationship doesn't mean that they got.
But sometimes I
everything
want to be
right.
the Angelina, but not. You know, like no, I know.
And I
Like,
wanna be
that's a
Mariah.
prime example. Hey, that time's coming. Mariah Carey music is coming. That's
Yes,
right
it
around the
is.
corner.
It is.
But that's a prime example where I know you say like, why don't I have this? Like, if I had this, then that must mean, you know, I'm
Yeah,
like this. But
yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, prime example. I mean, Brad Pitt picked Jolie over Aniston. You know, you guys can have your opinion on that. But then relationships after that, you know, she's attempted, tried. I don't know. But she's not in one. And you say, well, why not? Doesn't define that.
No,
that's
it doesn't.
wrong.
But at the same time, like it may not define it. But here's the thing: is a lot of the times when you're looking for answers, you have to analyze certain situations. And for me, the only thing that I can really sum up certain things is with results, feedback. And when the feedback is not lining up with the work you've been putting in, it's like, okay, what am I doing? It's like going back to the whole workout thing. Like, I'm waiting for the day for you to be like, damn, Monty, you really bam. Versus,
already
told him.
no.
Tomorrow, make sure that you say that.
No.
Wait,
No, but hang
I
on.
told him.
No,
that
you
he's-
have.
he's gonna,
You have. But here's the thing: what I'm trying to tell you overall is just like it's more like, well, maybe you should try this. If you want to do this, it's just obviously I'm always missing the mark somewhere. Do you see what I'm saying? So when the results aren't getting to where I've been me personally been striving for, you start to think, well, where am I going wrong? Not that you are, but it's just like when everyone has a certain vision of what they're trying to reach.
I get that.
And you see what I'm saying?
I get that because I feel like I work out all the time.
Yes.
I eat clean all the fucking time. And I'm like, how am I still not? I'm still not smaller than I think that I am. But then I look at photos and then
Yeah.
I am small.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. Why are you saying it like that?
You know why he's saying it that way. You just
Carly, you've come such a long way. I think you look great compared to what the old photos used to
You
be.
see? Okay, so
back in the
when
day.
he reacted that way, it made you feel a certain way, right? But he didn't mean it that way, but it's that
No, but it-
perception.
Oh, what?
No, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know
She
what
knows
you're
I'm
talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you know that I think you come a long way, and you don't look nothing like that. You look great.
I
Nothing
hear
like
him.
what
You
look.
came a long way.
Mind y'all, to give you some context, he's talking about when I was 15.
Yeah, I mean, he told me. You guys told me the story. I remember. I remember that.
Still needed to grow a little bit and the other direction, but it's okay.
But I get it. You know when you
look
said
great.
that too.
You look great. I think you look beautiful now. It's fine.
When you said that, that is so true because even like I think it was last Sunday when we had our last session, I was looking at the photos you had sent and I'm like, why do I still look fat? But it could have been the angle I was sitting. I mean, so many things, But again, that's the only perception that I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm seeing is why do I still look so fat? Even though I know I'm not.
No, I think like what you're trying to reach and what you're trying to reach, you guys are trying to reach a certain look, and if you want to get there, y'all really gonna have to do some straight sacrificing type style of what
Which
you eat.
we think we have.
You don't
And-
do it.
Well,
I
that's what I-
promise you.
that's what
what
I
I put
say.
my body
It's a-
through, I can get there, and I've been there, and y'all not.
And
doing
you're
it
just
to
there
that
naturally.
level.
You
No,
see what
no,
I'm
no,
trying to
no.
say? I'm like, God damn it.
No.
Like, why can't I?
I have the V, but I don't have the 6 anymore. So I know the lifestyle. Is
He's got
That's
the
a
V,
lot
but he
of
got the
work.
6.
It's a lot of work.
I
to-
know what I
is
put
he
my body
doing?
through.
He's natural.
No.
What you been doing?
You mean when I used to have?
No,
it?
not used to talk about it now.
I don't
Because you
have
still
it
got
right
it.
now. No, I don't.
Oh my
It's not
God.
nothing nowhere near what it used
Well,
to be.
my
right?
perception
But-
is you do.
But
Like, see,
well, that's nice.
Is it-
but if you want to get there, you're gonna have to. It's a lot of work.
Right, but see,
It's a
you
lot.
guys want to be more smaller, right? More physique look, but then there's people out there that can't even get to a bigger, higher body weight because they're too skinny, right?
Well, that's the thing with me. I like to be softer. Like, I don't want to be super small. But I do think I'm so hard on myself, too. Like, I'm like, why? I feel like,
Softer?
Yeah.
I don't know what. Well,
Joe, it's
like
What you mean
softer,
softer?
like, I don't want to be super, super skinny. Like, my stomach-wise. Like, I don't want to be super small. Yeah, like, a little softer.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's about like, I think it's more about we're not afraid to work hard, but it's the fact that working hard still hasn't gotten us there. So now we're left with, now what do we do? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of doing the work. I've been doing it. I'm just tired of missing the mark is what
Right.
I'm trying to
Right,
say,
right,
you know?
yeah,
I look at myself and I'm like, okay, I've been here a year and a half and look in the mirror. I know I see results, but then I look to the guy next to me and he's looking like 20 times better and I'm just like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
See, but I think that's a personal
Yeah.
issue, right?
And a personal
but
view.
I think you're putting yourself too high on that, because like I think that you look great.
I appreciate that.
Phenomenal.
And,
The results-
but what I keep hearing you saying is, oh man, like, well, I'm valuing other people to view your own self, right?
Yeah.
But I think that you should not do it so much.
And that's probably what comes down to
Right.
the mindset that I'm working on as well.
Because you're gonna get yourself into that twine, and that's where you're gonna really self-doubting yourself
That's
to
true.
where you're like, well, anything is never gonna be good enough, right?
Ah,
Okay.
God,
So
yes.
that's even to like even your relationships, right? Okay. So now when you want an actual relationship, it's not a relationship. Now it's just sex, right? Right. So it's a quickie, and then you're done. But what if that person's like, well, I really might consider want to go on another date with you again, but you're like, no, I'm good, right? But so now you're not opening your doors to really let
People in.
LOVE in.
Yeah, you're totally true, and I can totally see what you're saying and I think that's really what's happened too, and it's also it's almost like this maze. I'm trying to figure out, okay, where did I go wrong? How can I readjust certain things, And I know the results are there, and maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just looking at others too much to where I'm comparing them, thinking that I'm not there yet, even though I am. But I'm so focused on that I'm not seeing really what's right in front. And I know the people at the gym have told me, like, man, and I wear shorts now. Never used to like to wear shorts. I always look at my legs. But now I'm seeing a lot of the results in my legs of the hard work. So now I wanna continue to see that because that's the fuel for me to say, okay, there is the proof. Keep going. And now people will actually say, man, because I'll tell guys like, man, you know what? I really admire your arms. Or man, this, and right away the guys are like, I want your legs.
I mean,
I'm like, holy
I
shit.
get it because a lot of people tell me, you know what, you're Sua, you're doing good. Just keep doing what you're doing, and I do feel that where you're saying from. But I think you're very like too much to where you're forgetting who you are.
Yes. Oh my God.
Because
Yes.
like, if you get yourself a target, like even if you get the 6-pack, is it going to change anything?
I don't
How
know.
you are.
How
though.
you
I
feel
guess maybe
and-
I'm
If
you could
hoping.
reach it,
I'm-
and that's
I'm-
what you are.
I'm guessing.
You're like, you're continue to keep going. You get it, and then it's like, all right, I got it.
Now what else?
Now what? Yeah.
And what if nothing comes from it? Because that was your whole target.
And I think that's one of the biggest fears. That's why I know that it doesn't lie just in the physical. I think what's really happening right now, and it's actually the transformation is finally starting to happen where it's the mind, you know. And now when I go to the gym, I often wondered, am I going because I'm trying to impress so and so? But even when so and so isn't responding, I'm still there.
Yeah.
So I finally realized, Monsi, no, you're doing it for you, because you love it and because that's what you want. And if something's going on, like a party at your house or someone wants to get together, you're still like, when I'm done and if I have time, I will go. And I realized again, oh my gosh, it's for me.
It's for you.
So to go into what you were saying,
So as one thing ends, something else begins, right? And so you have to be okay to kind of let things go to start something else. Because if you're already focusing too much on what's gonna happen and not what's ending, I think you're gonna get that intertwine again.
It's a toxic cycle.
It is.
Within
Oh
yourself.
gosh, yes, it really
But I
is.
feel like for me, the fact that you're trying to focus more on the mindset, I think that's what is really gonna turn it around for you, because that's what really turned it around for me. I don't think that I was really ever obsessed with comparing myself with other people, but I was very obsessed with myself, like how things that I need to change. I need to change this. But then I started to literally have to tell myself, like, I'm doing this for me. Like, I'm okay. Like, this is fine. This doesn't look bad. Like, literally lie to myself until I fucking believed it.
Yeah.
So now it's natural. So now when something like you guys are asking me, what do you think of yourself? I'm a fucking 10. Like,
if you
would have asked me like 2019 when I'm still in the process of trying to, navigate through all these other thoughts and emotions that are like, I should look like this, or my body should be like this, and I should feel this way, think this way, I would not have responded the way that I just did.
The way you just did, yeah. And that's why I related to you when he kind of related to you in a different way, which is okay too, because everyone has their different things. But when you said, I can walk into a place and I'm still a 10. It was like, whoa. But I got it, because at the end of the day, that is still, why shouldn't we feel that way about ourselves? Because we're not supposed to look like one another. We're not supposed to be, whatever you feel is the ultimate, whatever, whether you're a celebrity, you want to strive to be like a celebrity or not, we should try to be who we are. So for me, my mindset, I've noticed one thing that does work is the working on the way your mind works. I don't think people give the mind enough credit, how powerful it truly is.
It's so powerful.
We let other influences really influence who we think we should be. And that's where I think the whole intertwining happens for me, thinking I have to look like this person, or I have to be like my roommate because he gets any guy he wants, or things like that. No, the more I worked on my mind, I've started to realize, really, and then this conversation, I'm glad we talked about it, is I am happy with me. And a lot of the times I don't give myself that credit, because I'm still doing that tug of war between, no, you're supposed to be like this and you're supposed to look like this person, when in all reality,
I feel like when I used to have those type of thoughts, I would have to actively work on giving myself a compliment afterwards to myself in my mind. So like, okay, I wish my ass was fatter, example. Okay, but look at how far you have come. Like, or I wish that my arms were not as fat, but look at how far you've come. It's just like an example. I feel like if you're going to be, because it's going to be natural, you're still going to be in that mindset where these thoughts are going to be coming and haunting you. But try to flip that over where you like, okay, but look at how far I've come. Look at how great my fucking legs look. Like, I couldn't wear short shorts before.
Because with you doing that also reinforces that yes, there are things you need to work on, but at the end of the day, you are. These are the results so far that you've come far. So if you don't give yourself any, because if you're always used to just the negative and what you need to work on, you're always constantly thinking that you're not progressing.
Right. So are you, though?
Am I progressing? Or am I?
Are you okay, though?
Oh, for sure, yes. I know now that I am okay. A lot of times I feel like maybe I'm not. which you're right. I wasn't okay for the longest time. I wasn't.
So it's self-inflicted.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And again, that's why people say, "How can you be friends with your exes?" And I tell people because I don't hold grudges against them because I don't hold them accountable for my own actions. I'm not going to put the blame on them because I chose to be in that situation. So at the end of the day, I'm going to take ownership and I'm going to be like, you know what? At the end of the day, you're still human. I'm still human. We're both not perfect. If I'm not perfect, I'm not going to expect you to be. So at the end of the day, that helps me to let go of that hostility within myself.
I know, but it's crazy
hard.
that you. Because I let it go, but I'm not talking to you. Like, I don't know how you do it.
That's why I was going to let it slide. I was like, well, that's
But no, don't let it slide.
But I did ask that. I think I did ask you how you could still have conversations be okay, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, there's some that just would be like, you know what, it's cool, but I'm done with it. I'm not going to talk to you.
But it's the mind thing, and again, it goes to play with our own experiences, going back to childhood. You know, like my mother, she's a best friend of mine. She's an influencer. Like I look at Joel, I look at you now that you guys are a lot of my influences and mentors now that I've met you guys and been with you guys for quite a while. And my mom always, I've noticed how she never held grudges. I mean, she would be in the pit, the fire pit with my dad's side of the family, them constantly picking her apart because she wasn't Catholic, because she was an independent, strong woman. And my grandma always taught you follow the man and do what he says no matter what. And she always questioned. And but again, even when they did that to her, she never held grudges. To this day, she goes, "Mijo, you let go of that because at the end of the day, that destroys you, not them." And that's where it comes from for me. Because I look at them, I'm like, you know what? You can explain why things happen a lot of the times. Why relationships don't work. You may think you do, but you had just as much fault as they did. So for me not to talk to them is basically saying it was all your fault.
I don't think it was ever my fault.
Okay, that's
Hell
okay.
no.
But that's okay. You know, that's your perception of things.
That's okay.
But overall, it's the mind thing. For me, it's at the end of the day, that's how I let go of toxins within myself, and it allows me to heal. If that makes sense.
So I like what you said because, you know, like how you still keep your ex in a loophole, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, believe it or not, right? I mean, some relationships need to end to rekindle itself, right?
Yeah.
If it's good or bad. And sometimes it's bad where you can't, but there is relationships where they get divorced 10 years down the road and then now they're remarried again, you know? And so some people just had to go through that trial of errors, right? Because I said, and there's some people that get married 4 or 5 times, right? You know, Jennifer Aniston, right? So,
or is that Jennifer Lopez? Like,
I mean, that's a prime example. J-Lo is a solid number. And she's
gorgeous.
Right.
So it's not all about
right.
It's not all about it, man. See, that's what I'm trying to get at. You know,
yeah, but she's got the money to back it up now.
You're right. So I think it you know, like at the end of the day, it's kind of like there is people out there that is still always working on themselves as well, right? And so, you know, I think if just because one relationship ends, it doesn't mean that it's never gonna end. So like with me and my kid's mother, right? Like yes, we're done, right? But there's still things that we have to relate on the table, right? Certain things, right? Now, yes, I might not get everything I want, but at the end of the day, at least it's still something there, you know, and it's the respect, right? I think that's what it is.
But you also go into a relationship like knowing that it's a gamble. It's not something that may last forever. You want it to, of course. You know, but when things happen, they happen. At the end of the day, I think what also helps me get through these things is changing, again, my mindset and the way I view it. We're no longer romantic, and I'm not going to look at you in a romantic setting, but I am going to look at you as an individual. And as an individual, regardless, you are a beautiful person. With flaws and all, me too.
Yeah, so because when you're with that person, you were that person because you thought that they were a 10.
True.
And then as time go by, they might
it destroyed you. I get it.
In certain moments, it bring them back to a 10, and in some moments they're not a 10, right? And that's the same way they value you. But
Carla's like, I'm 10 all the time, baby. All the time. No matter if I do something, if I yell at you, I'm still a 10.
I mean,
sure.
Yeah, right. It's hard. It's hard, right?
I mean, guys, I just live in a different world.
But but that's okay. And I think that's great because at the end of the day, it goes back to mindset. What works for you to get through whatever it is you're going through.
No, but at the same time, I think it's also the confidence in it that helps make yourself even higher than, not saying even higher, but it helps, like the confidence that you have within yourself can also help give yourself a certain number. Now, humble is another thing too, because you can say, okay, even though I have high confidence, I also humble myself to a certain level. That's fine, but confidence plays a part.
Yeah.
To an extent, you know what I'm saying. So, that whoever brought up, I think it was you who brought up the exes. I think that's a great conversation we're gonna talk about, especially. Can you have a conversation and be okay with your exes? Carla's already mentioned she can't. I don't even think you could.
I feel like, well, I mean, I have to talk to one of my exes all the time.
Yeah.
But like,
which is totally different scenario between you guys. I'm talking about.
But I feel like it depends on how it ends, because clearly in your situations, it sounds like you guys are ending things on a like peaceful ground, or you guys are like.
It looks that way.
On the
It's
same
definitely
page.
not a peaceful ground. I'll tell you that right now.
Or kind of on the same page.
I think we should do that for another.
That's what I was trying to get to before this one over here started to go into heavy into it. She's like, oh, I got something for this. I'm ready.
Joe, you pick these
I'll
topics
give you the answer right now, and I will explain. Next episode, the answer is no for me, but I will explain in the next episode.
Even if the peaceful ones are like a strong, mutual.
To be continued.
No, I would. I just have not had a situation like that.
Oh, just haven't had a situation. Oh, so
I
there's
can't
a certain
relate.
situation, but cool.
I'm grown as hell, and I'm cool as hell, respectful as hell. So I would never just be rude to nobody.
Right.
But if you can't be a bigger person on your end. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But there's level. Yeah.
10.
There's level.
10.
Yeah, when I think we all strive to be that way. I think a lot of us just really, some of us don't know how. Mm-hmm. Or
there's levels.
Depending on what it is. Right. Well, look. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Y'all know what it is. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.
That's right.
Y'all know what it is. The Fraction, right?
Yes.
We are the Fraction.
Cool.
Goodbye.